podcast. I am your host, Erik Anderson, editor-in-chief of AwardsWatch. And it is an Oscar Talk podcast today with executive editor Ryan McQuade
Oscar, read all about it.
and associate editor Sophia Ciminello.
It's a family reunion, as Daniel Day-Lewis would say.
You're going to hell, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Brother.
Oh my God. He always wanted a brother to go to hell.
Oh my God. Guys.
Yes, we are going to do some Oscar talk. We're going to do some best actor, best actress, and supporting actor talk. But first, we want to do a little bit on the two trailers that were released today. And that is Nia DaCosta's Hedda with Tessa Thompson and Nina Haas, and Ronan Day-Lewis's Anemone with his father bringing him out of another retirement. And I think we have a little bit to say about both of those. But first, let's talk about Hedda. And I liked it. It's a little different tonally than I would have expected. Friskier, funnier. The "Come on, Eileen" line, absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I was a little concerned that it did not have any theatrical release stated, and only its Prime Video dates. I do still believe it is getting a very limited release before that, but I just was a little curious about that, especially as we dive into Best Actress in a little bit. But I liked it. I thought it was fun. Sophia, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was really fun and feisty and sort of a different take on Hedda, the character, which I thought was really cool. I love when Tessa Thompson is doing a voice, and the accent that she's choosing here, I think, is really fun. I was also just excited to see Nina Haas and just thrilled to see the dynamic between her and Tessa Thompson on screen. I think the costumes look fun. Yeah, I felt similarly, I think, about that detail around it going straight to Prime or having a really limited theatrical release, like very limited, in that it does kind of look like a movie that would do really well on streaming. Also, like, it just has that kind of look and feel to it. So I'm hoping it does play really well at Toronto and that Tessa Thompson can be a part of the Best Actress conversation.
Yeah, I definitely liked Nina Haas's intro with that Lederhosen Sound of Music outfit. I was dying. It was amazing. It was amazing. Ryan, what did you think of Hedda?
I thought it looked like a lot of fun. Nia DaCosta needs a hit because her last couple of films have been, let's just say the Marvels and Candyman are not very good, to be nice. But I like Little Woods. I think that's a really good debut, and she worked really well with Thompson at the time for that film. And I hope that when it premieres at Toronto, it does have the Prime Video sticker still in the corner, bottom hand corner. Like, I hope that stays the whole time, like it did in this trailer. Because every time I was looking at all the visuals, like, it kept saying Prime the whole time. And I'm like, okay, I think you're trying to speak a message there. But I was getting like a Saltburn vibe to it, like just this very pulpy, fun, sexy film that would play well on Prime and would engage with social media. And I love Tessa Thompson. I think she's one of our most underrated actresses. I think when she gets great material, she can knock it out of the park. And I don't think she does enough work, but I think that looked fun. I don't know if it's like an awards player, but maybe it breaks through. I mean, we'll talk about actress here in a little bit. It's a little bit of a weaker year for the actress race at this point.
That's an understatement.
But something fun like this would be kind of great. But yeah, I am worried, like you guys. It said October and it said Nia DaCosta, and it was very clear what it was, but no theatrical, which is very disappointing.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go over to Anemone, which also came out absolutely stunning. I didn't know what I was really going to expect, even from that single photo that we had. But it's like rich, saturated colors and spooky-ish, very much like that Hamnet photo where just the colors are so rich and so dark, and the vibe is just kind of cool and spooky. And Ben Fordsman is the cinematographer, and he did Saint Maud and Love Lies Bleeding. Great, great films, great looking films. I am my interest, which was already very high, is now just like, yeah, I need to go to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan, what'd you think?
I thought it looked incredible. I was kind of, when this project was announced, I thought it was going to be more like, and I'm not trying to be mean to the filmmakers here, but I was sounding like a BBC original film, like two brothers and they're on the motorcycle, and we saw that one image, and I'm like, what the hell is this freaking movie? And then you see it and you're like, oh, this is like a serious goddamn thing, because New York wouldn't take such a sappy kind of, comfort movie like that. And
yeah, it's not Waking Ned Divine.
No, it's not like that at all. I was thinking, like, is this like that Maggie Smith movie about the bus or whatever?
Oh my god, the lady in the van.
The lady in the van.
No, but can you imagine?
Could you imagine if
coming out of retirement to do?
He'd play the van.
The lady in the van.
He'd play the van. You know what I mean?
I'd take it. It's fine.
I'd take it. I mean, it'd be great. But no, what I got from this was a very darker, generational relationship drama, and kind of, it seemed maybe, and Sophia's obviously the expert on Daniel Day-Lewis, even though I love the man dearly, but clearly not like Sophia Ciminello does. It seems like there is a personal connection with it. He did write a lot of he co-wrote the script with it too. So I think that there's going to be some meta contextualities about his life in there, maybe about his place in the world and profession, abandonment of his country because he lives mostly here. Like, whatever the case may be, like, there seems to like be some things that I think he and his son are tapping into here. I think also too, like, Sean Bean looked really good in this trailer and has been sort of like, we haven't talked nearly enough about potentially like him. We talked about Daniel Day-Lewis a lot of like he's returning and that what that could mean for an Oscar race. But if Sean Bean is going toe to toe with him, like, that's a supporting actor contender that we could talk about here in a little bit as well too. But I just thought it looked great, and sort of the various like mystical shots that are in it as well too.
Oh my god, very
very mysterious, very beautiful to look at. So yeah, I'm glad I'm going to New York to see it.
And Sophia, what did you think? I can't imagine what you might be thinking.
She hated it. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you to all my friends and family and listeners who checked on me today to see if I was okay after watching this trailer.
Over under 1,000 people.
Yeah, many, I'll just say. People are coming out of the woodwork, just making sure I was doing well. So thank you. I really appreciate it. I watched this trailer quite a few times this morning and was just really excited by it. So aside from Daniel Day-Lewis, just talking about Ronan Day-Lewis for a minute, I followed him on Instagram for a number of years now, just in keeping tabs on the Day-Lewis Miller family. And when people started talking about Anemone as this family drama or the story between fathers and sons or brothers, and I think I always knew that it couldn't be ordinary people. That was not what this movie was going to be, because Ronan Day-Lewis, he is also an artist, and he presents a lot of his art at galleries across the East Coast, and it does have this kind of cool, supernatural, otherworldly feel to it. And that's clearly what's going on, I think, here in this trailer and in this film. And I was just really thrilled, I think, to see how creative and different it was. It felt so spooky to me, almost like a folk tale come to life, which is what I really fixated on. And obviously, the Daniel Day-Lewis of it all. Just hearing that dry cackle in front of the fire reminded me exactly of There Will Be Blood. And Daniel Plainview there and how he sounds, but I think what's also really cool about this and his performance, which looks really intense, and just seeing him on screen again, even if it was just on my phone or computer, was just a crazy, exciting experience. But it also, I think, will connect to quite a few of his film roles before, his own personal heritage and his past. You know, we think about a movie like In the Name of the Father, too. I thought of that a little bit here. So I think it's very promising. And yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, he's roaring back to the screen. We'll talk about it in Best Actor.
Yes, yes. Yeah, actually, as we roll into the Best Actor and Supporting Actor conversations, something kind of, I don't know what it was. It wasn't like a red flag, but there was something that was giving me a vibe that Sean Bean might actually be the lead, and that Danny Day-Lewis is closer to supporting. I don't know, since we don't know exactly the true protagonist, but I was sort of getting that maybe Sean Bean might be. I don't know.
He might be the lead in DDL's support.
Yeah,
but then I feel like focus would be like, even though we watch the movie and it's like, well, clearly one's the lead and the other, it's like, oh, we're gonna run Daniel Day-Lewis and freaking lead, because that's where, you know,
it's like the old Hollywood studio system. Like they'll put him in lead.
Very much so.
And, it's very like Jamie Foxx in Collateral. We're gonna put Tom Cruise in lead, but we're gonna run him in supporting, and he's clearly the lead of that film.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It is. It was just something I was sort of toying with, and certainly within the context, very specifically of awards and what Focus has, and how they can campaign, because they don't have a lead actor.
Well, I mean,
unless they do.
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, here's another idea that studios don't do all the time, because they just don't, which is like, I don't know, run them both in lead if they're both co-leads.
If Best Actor was as bleak as Best Actress is this year, I would agree.
Yeah. Well, I think supporting actor, when we talk about that too, is pretty stacked as well. So
it is both of the male actor categories are. It's like the old days.
It's a comeback for men.
It really is. Men are back, everyone.
Men are back. You know,
here we are.
Honora, move over. We're coming through.
As long as Daniel Day-Lewis is one of those men, I can entertain it.
All right. Well, all right. Let's go into Best Actor and just kind of see what's changing, or if anything. We did get today the news that Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere is opening AFI, and Deadline, in their hilariousness, drops in the opening sentence of the story that it's world premiering at Telluride, which, you know, the things that we know about Telluride are not necessarily supposed to be spoken with fact and assurance, and certainly not in print the way that they are sometimes.
But it can be in podcasts, so go listen to the Telluride preview that's available at awardswatch.com.
Yes, yeah. But, you know, when we talk about the things that we know, we have to, you know, do it with a little bit of like, maybe, because allegedly, it's like
because we could get burned,
to be confirmed.
Exactly. We don't want another Nosferatu on our hands here. So
in the Hampton Inn at the Montrose.
Exactly. But to that effect, obviously, Jeremy Allen White is a top contender here. I dropped him to number 2 for this month after being number 1 for Timothée Chalamet, but I really think that those two, for right now, are really just kind of going back and forth. And then we have a pretty deep bench of possibilities.
I'm looking at it; it's wild.
It's deep.
It really is. I can go all the way down to my top 15 and feel like there is so much room for almost any of these guys here. But let's roll right through it with Daniel Day-Lewis and where we think he is in as of right now. Ryan, what do you
Okay.
think?
Oh, crap. If I'm a betting man, Daniel Day Lewis is in my five because, and I did, and it's very rare case when he hasn't made it in, and especially in absences too. Like you think about like Gangs of New York, for example, where it takes years in between roles. If this movie delivers, that's the other thing too. It's like it's got to deliver. It's only playing in New York. I'm sure it focuses its only contender. But if he's great, like we all know Daniel Day Lewis to be, it's kind of undeniable. Then at that point, even early on, I remember when Phantom Thread was coming out, and we were like, "Oh, this is the last movie he's ever going to do." Like the thing that was locked in for that movie were costumes and Daniel Day Lewis. So I think that he right now is in a very good spot. Like I'm not like you, Eric. I'm not sold on Brendan Fraser and the Crying Machine that to continue again this year for Rental Family. I don't know if how the whale and those quotes would factor into a speech for that. But I think the other four that you have in your top spots are really strong contenders. Like Chalamet and Alan White, 100%. Those are the 1-2 for me. And I have Jeremy Allen White 1. I think that playing Telluride, New York, AFI, if that performance is, if like I've told Sophia, if he's actually singing like he is in the trailer, he's going to win the Oscar. Like that, we can sew this thing up. And then Marty Supreme, I think the movie looks really good from that trailer. Worry about the price tag and then really the box office. Clooney, Jay Kelly, I think that's going to be very strong for Netflix. And then Wagner Moura, who won at Cannes the actor prize for The Secret Agent, I think that's still going to be a very big deal in this race. And then that leaves one goddamn spot open, and we'll talk about that. But I think Daniel Day Lewis right now would be in my five. He would be my number 5 at this point.
And Sophia, what are you thinking about DDL's chances?
I'm thinking we go for Katharine Hepburn's record. I think this is the year we do it. No, in all seriousness, though, I think if Daniel Day-Lewis is entering an Oscar race, you kind of have to reserve a spot for him, no matter how crowded the race might be, just because of how many times he's been nominated before. And also, what I'll point out about this, yes, sight unseen, we haven't seen this movie yet, is that on paper, he, to me, has the strongest narrative for this win, even though he's already won 3. He is emerging from retirement to join his son in his directorial debut that he wrote alongside him. And I think that's a really personal narrative that can go really far. And I think people will just be excited to see him back. I mean, even just the response today to the trailer is like, welcome back, King. The King is back. He's returning. And that can, I think, carry a lot of weight. And also, just based on this trailer, he is playing, even if it is a two-hander, he's playing the character that feels a little bit wilder. And you really, I think, maybe swinging for the fences, an unlikable character, maybe.
The gravitational pull of the
shocking
film.
that Daniel Day-Lewis would play a character like this.
Yeah.
Right. But I think like that doesn't matter for men. Like for men, like they don't have to deal with that. What women have to deal with in Oscar races around being unlikable, and it can be a benefit for him. So yeah, I hope we have another DDL nomination here.
To the point about narrative, because yes, clearly the father son of it all is extremely appealing, but to what extent do you think that he will be willing to participate in the dog and pony show element of that? Because the narrative can exist, but it usually does need to be assisted by a lot of that, going to parties and doing I mean, imagine Daniel Day-Lewis on a 5-minute junkets with some of the bobble-headed people that do these. That seems like crazy to me.
Yeah.
No, but
I just can't imagine that.
He did do a lot of Q&As during the Phantom Thread run, but it was also labeled as his last film role, and it was with PTA. This is his son, to Sophia's point. So, maybe it's also more of a chance to, to platform his son and future projects as well there too. Also, Sean Bean could be the advocate for Daniel Day-Lewis as well too on the campaign trail.
As long as he doesn't die in the first 15
I was just going to say
that's good.
As long as he lives throughout the end of the film.
Well, sometimes he'll last a whole season. You never know.
Yeah, and then like episode 9, right?
Yeah.
But to that point though, if there is weakness because it's not Focus's number one player, that would be Hamnet. Then you have to look at the people that are going to be present throughout the season. Mm-hmm. You think of somebody like Dwayne Johnson for the Smashing Machine, who's going to be fucking everywhere, and he's going to give everybody tequila, and it's just going to be nonsense. Then you look at Michael B. Jordan, who will totally be on the campaign trail with Sinners as a producer, and as well as a dual performance there. Mm-hmm. Colin Farrell, Netflix will have him out there. And then there's this guy that's worked with Daniel Day-Lewis before, that Timothée Chalamet idolizes, which is Leonardo DiCaprio will be out there. And he has a narrative of the whole, I've wanted to work with PTA for 30 years, and he's the center of this film. And if it becomes a hit and it becomes that movie that Sophia and I think it is for Best Picture, then you have to start factoring in Leo back into the conversation as well. His more comedic, goofier performances have landed him Oscar nominations, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and The Wolf of Wall Street. I know this is more political, but yeah, like Leo's in there as well for this crazy season out there. And I mean, and that's
a wild season.
It's not even mentioning, like, I know we're sort of down on Begonia right now, but Focus does have Begonia and Jesse Plemons. And if that movie if Plemons is as good as sort of people have hinted at, like, he's a veteran actor.
I did drop Plemons a little bit. There's something is giving me, again, just vibes. It's based on nothing, just vibes.
Yeah.
So much of it right now is just vibes, though. We just have to roll with the vibes until we know for sure.
And, in a week's time, Begonia will have been seen, and we'll just have more information. But I was just in looking at this list, like I said, because there's 15 contenders that are all really, really viable. So
4 of them from Netflix alone.
Moving those parts around a little bit is kind of just makes sense. Oscar Isaac, Ethan Hawke, Lee Byung-hun. There's
Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams. But I mean, like, if that movie does break through, then that's definitely in consideration.
The one thing I'll point out about Dwayne Johnson that I didn't realize until this week, actually, is that Kazuhiro is doing the makeup in the Smashing Machine, which that to me is a sign that we might be seeing that performance and potentially makeup recognition a lot this season.
Yeah. And we've talked about it before, that I think most of us agree nobody is going to campaign harder than Dwayne Johnson this season. No.
He would be like on Sophia's and Nick's podcast, he would be the campaigner pick easily. Yeah. There's nobody like him and Emily Blunt are going to be fucking everywhere for that thing. I think just get ready for it. Like it's a big film for A24. Like they have that, and they have Marty Supreme. Which is, it's very funny that like they have The Rock and Timothée Chalamet going up against each other in the Safdies, and I mean, there's also no other choice, right? If that becomes a thing for Neon, I mean, like Neon is such a interesting factor. Like they have so many damn films. Where are these avenues for these people? So to your point, Eric, like, a week from now, we're going to see a lot of films, and a lot of films are going to premiere, and it's really going to shape this thing but also too, that's 1 week. Then you go to Toronto, go to New York, because we're not going to see Anemone until New York. So it's going to be like this. Everybody's waiting, and also we'll, at the same time Anemone drops, we'll also know about One Battle After Another, and it's such the exciting part right now, but it's also like, this is all going to get like clarified in like 3 weeks time.
The 45 days from like September 1st to October 15th is the most crucial in the entire year, because that's what it creates and crushes dreams really, really fast.
Yeah. And you mentioned it, but like somebody like Ethan Hawke, who I love in Blue Moon, and I think
Yeah,
he's fantastic in it.
he's
He
great.
is going to get swallowed up like this is not a year where a small performance can make it in against
Yeah, no pun
Titans.
intended there.
No, no, that was not a pun. It's Sony Pictures Classics does a great
He will
job.
be looked over because
Yeah.
he's 5 feet tall.
Yes, Eric's making a lot of jokes, but it is true. Like I just don't see a small campaign being able to
Yeah,
go up against these legends
Yeah.
in the category, winners in the category, and then just overall giant campaigns that'll be at the secondary festivals and beyond.
yeah. And Sony Pictures Classics is better with actress pushes anyway
Absolutely.
than they are with actor. And
Also,
with that,
I was just going to say apologies to Rami Malek for Nuremberg. Just really all that cast just it
I don't
died
know.
already.
I
Yeah.
I already have that pegged as your favorite film of Tips, so I really don't want to be disappointed
I
to
don't
hear
want to
that.
spoil it for anyone, you know what I mean? But
I don't want to be disappointed. It would break my heart.
no.
Yes, let's actually move over to Best Actress because it's kind of bleak. It's a little depressing. I As of this recording, I haven't put out my Best Actress predictions yet because I still have gaps in this top 20 because putting out a top 10 was brutal. I don't it is rough. While I do think we have some very, very clear leaders here in Renata Rentza, Jesse Buckley, Rose Byrne. I think then it gets a little bit foggy. Even Julia Roberts. I'm I've also become a little weary of After the Hunt being a major contender, but I think if anybody can survive it, it would probably be Julia Roberts. Um, and then we have a handful of films that still don't even have distributors yet. So it will have to happen out of Toronto, and which can happen, but that turnaround on a campaign and on an idea is sketchy. Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes you are Julianne Moore, and then sometimes you're Glenn Close. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sophia, what are you looking at for top tier and like maybes here?
It is a bleak category this year, which saddens me a bit. I think we do have some performances to look forward to. For me, at the top of the list, it's those performances that you mentioned. I think, Renate Reinsve with Sentimental Value. We've seen that performance. I think she's absolutely wonderful in that movie, and I think she can really get her Oscar nomination here. I think especially because a lot of people feel she should have been nominated or even won for the worst person in the world. So it would be a good time to make good on that. But I really also feel like Jessie Buckley for Hamnet is so strong. She is, the leader of that film. And in reading the book, there is just no way audiences won't fall in love with this character and feel for her every step of the way. And I just feel like, when I read the book, yes, I knew that Jessie Buckley was playing this character, but I also couldn't separate it. Like I just could see her so vividly in every single scene, and I feel like it's perfect casting. So those two for me really are at the tippity top. And then Rose Byrne, I think I have her here just because really of the campaign and where that movie is going. I think just based on the trailer and on paper, that doesn't seem like a performance that necessarily is a slam dunk to get in every year. But I think just based on where it's going and the category so far, we can bank on it. I also have Cynthia Erivo just because again it's getting I think a little bit dire and she was nominated last year, so I'm just putting her in here for
Mm-hmm.
part two. She can possibly, pull that out again. And then that's when I start to kind of wonder what else is going to happen here because we have Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee, which doesn't have a distributor yet, but also I was really surprised that that didn't appear in the New York lineup. I think it might follow a similar trajectory that The Brutalist did, but it not being here is interesting, just TIFF. And then it's like you get into Sony Pictures Classics and you're like, I don't know, could it be June Squibb? Like what's going on here? Who are we putting in this category to really fill it out? But I think I am confident in the top few spots at least.
Say hello to Kate Hudson in Song Sung Blue. There we are.
I heard she is really good in that though.
Yeah, I did as well, but oh my god.
We'll see it at AFI.
Yeah, for sure. Ryan, what are your thoughts of top tier and everyone else being stragglers?
I'm with both of you. I think the top two are, Rinsva and Buckley, though I have it flipped. I have Jessie Buckley as my number one right now, and then I have Renata Rinsva at number two. I think Jessie Buckley, being a previous nominee, being the focal point of this film, I think she could be the winner that represents the film. I think like Stellan Skarsgård is the winner for representation or screenplay for sentimental value. But I think Renata is going to get in here, definitely, not just because of the quality of her performance, but because she benefits from being in a Best Picture contender at the top. And also it's a weak field. Like, it is that. Like, that's not a knock against her or Buckley to say that, because they stand out right now as the two that have strong films in the top tier contenders that we are confident or comfortable enough with. Yeah. And then Rose Byrne has played, that film will have played every festival, outside of Cannes, it feels like, or is it going to TIFF as well?
Yeah, Cannes and Venice are the only ones.
Telluride, TIFF, New York, Sundance,
New York,
Berlin. She won at Berlin.
She won Berlin.
It'll be at Fantastic Fest. It'll be at all the regionals. It'll probably be at AFI. Like, this is the type of thing that Amy Adams wished she had for Night Bitch. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. But it seems like people actually like this. So I have her in but also, to Sophia's point, at this time last year, The Brutalist was not picked up. It was picked up at Venice. So we could potentially see a number of these, like Amanda Seyfried, like everyone's favorite Gene girl, Sydney Sweeney, whatever her fucking name is, for the Christy Martin film, Christy. I think the movie that we should be kind of paying attention to, and we haven't talked about it yet, is from Netflix, and that's House of Dynamite. And I think Rebecca Ferguson very much is a top tier contender and someone I would put in my 5 right now. I mean, she's literally the only still we've seen really outside of like another one. Zero Dark 30 comes to mind with Bigelow, with what Jessica Chastain brought to that. I think that Rebecca Ferguson is someone that's been on the rise with the Dune series, Mission Impossible, and definitely if she can deliver and that movie can deliver, she is Netflix's big actress contender this year. Yes. And are huge at getting contenders into this category. So I think that she is definitely a consideration. I think Emma Mackey for Ellen McKay is someone to consider, because I think that trailer looked good. I think that movie looked good. I think that, it could be, they might just mistake her for Margot Robbie and throw her in there. And then
that means we have to see more Jamie Lee Curtis.
We're going to have to see more.
We are going to see her. We didn't talk about it an actor, but the Lost Bus does exist. And, if
it does, but it doesn't have distribution outside of Apple yet. There's no partner, a studio partner for it.
Fair. Maybe it's just a streamer, and then, we'll figure that out from there. The confusing things for me are what is going on with Die My Love and what Mubi's doing with that. That performance could probably easily get in just for a lone Jennifer Lawrence nomination, if it is ready and redistributed out there. But good Lord, After the Hunt, I think we all kind of are sharing a little bit of skepticism, but like, it's Julia Roberts, for Christ's sake. If she lands that performance with that wig, then she could totally get in. And yeah, Cynthia Erivo, I mean, I haven't mentioned it, but like, that movie is definitely coming out for sure, and it's going to make a crap ton of money, and those posters have been premium dynamite. And with all that being said, I'm sure that she is going to be in the hunt. But then there's like Erik mentioned on the Telluride episode, Mother Mary's out there in the world, Dan Hathaway.
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe we'll see. Who knows? I mean, Sophia mentioned June Squibb, Kate Hudson, and then of course, gotta just mention it. Somewhere out in the world is Jessica Lange in Long Day's Journey into Night. And it's such a crazy, stupid year for this category. It almost makes sense in Prime for like a Sony Pictures Classic to pick it up at the last second and make a little campaign for Jessica Lange for it. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but like that's how crazy open this thing is for like, I think 2 to 3 spots. Like Rose Byrne's still not like fully locked in, even though she's playing everywhere. But and maybe she has to become like a critics thing in order for that to happen as well too. But like it's a very open race, and we might just be overthinking it. It might just be Roberts and Arrivo, and that's all. Because
yeah, I mean, if I go with what I have right now, it's Renza, Buckley, Byrne, Roberts, Arrivo. But then I do, to your point, have Ferguson
she's right there,
all the way up.
It wouldn't make sense
from the nothings up into my number 6 spot. And yeah, it is Netflix's only lead actress push, which is odd.
I think I just wasn't sure for her if she was lead or supporting.
That's
just because there isn't.
I don't know if anyone is
a lot of information
or
yet.
Idris Elba, but
yeah. But I feel like based off of what we've read and what I've heard, I think she is the lead, and it all centers. Like it doesn't center around her, but she's the main driving force of the film. So
well, that's exciting then.
No, it is very exciting. She also would be great on the campaign. She's very feisty in interviews and stuff. And I mean, it can't be any worse than last year for Netflix and Best Actress. So, check the Twitter.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, hopefully there are some people combing through social media just to be sure.
See.
I think we really kind of have run through everybody in this category outside of maybe Laura Dern, which I have heard could be lead but would make more sense in supporting, but she could be considered a co-lead.
What about Zoe Deutsch?
This thing on, she's officially supporting.
Okay. I didn't know what they had done with her.
Guillaume Marbeck is the only lead push.
I mean, that makes sense. That's correct. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I agree. I think it is the right choice. Otherwise it's
Margot Robbie, A Big Bold Beautiful Journey. No.
Anyway, moving on.
I'm just throwing it out there. That's how far down you have to go down the bench.
I might have to put her in the 20 just to.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson, Materialist. Like Kate.
What about
what is Kate doing?
Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another.
If she ends up being like a lead rather than in supporting, I mean, like that's. I don't know. I mean, Erik, that's on the table probably, but also I'd be wary of that because I mean, Alana Haim didn't get in the last go around, and neither did Vicky Krieps for Phantom Thread.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, if it's a weak category and the movie is really, if the movie's really strong, let's say, and she gets a bunch of breakthrough prizes, that sometimes can translate.
Very much so.
Yeah, it feels supporting, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I might
give her one of my little asterisks, and then we'll go.
It is her and Leo front and center in that trailer and those posters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. All right, let's move to supporting actor, which I kind of also feel has 2 very strong contenders, and maybe 3 or 4 strong contenders. Certainly one named strong, so he's there.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, Stellan Skarsgård, Sentimental Value. I don't see, and this is obviously early, but we felt this back in May. He's the front runner. He's the front runner to me. But I think the desire to see Adam Sandler at least nominated is going to be pretty strong.
Yeah.
So he's right there.
It's wild. They keep releasing the Happy Gilmore 2 numbers like every other day. It's like They are trying to build this campaign in so many different ways for Sandler. He'll be everywhere. He'll get like special awards as well alongside Clooney.
Oh yeah,
but
Palm
but
Springs
so
and Santa Barbara
all of it
are going to be ready.
It's going to be weird to see that video of like him up like the tribute at Santa Barbara, or like Santa Barbara, where it's like we're going to show a Happy Gilmore and then Punch Drunk Love. It's going to be weird to see that. Sorry, Sophia, what were you going to say?
No, Adam Sandler is such a nice guy too, and has such a good reputation in the industry that I feel like people will just want to spend time with him. He just seems like one of those people who you'd want to go up to at an event too. And we always talk about that. It's like, who do people gravitate towards at these things throughout the season? Who do people want to talk to? He's definitely near the top of the list, I think, when I think of people like that. So I also still have Stellan Skarsgård in my one spot. I think just the strength of that film and that performance, but Sandler's right behind.
It gives me like the inklings and the vibes. I know that they're not totally the same, but like everybody loved Willem Dafoe in the Florida Project and wanted to give this veteran actor his due, and then Sam Rockwell just charm offensed everybody and swept the season, and that's
it was offensive, all right.
Yeah, I know it was, but like that's how it feels like with Sandler, and he's also playing a publicist, and it's very inside baseball as well too, and so it'll be very interesting to see. I have Stellan at number 1, and then I have Sandler at number 2.
Yeah,
but my strong number 3 is Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. I think he's getting in, and I think that movie, from what I have heard from both, from some good sources, this is a bone-chilling performance, and unlike anything that we've seen from him. And talk about a sort of a comeback with Daniel Day-Lewis. This is very similar for Sean Penn in doing something very meaty, and you see him in the trailer. He's very intense, and I'm sorry, but like he's playing a guy that's rounding up people. Like, it's very relevant. And it'll be very interesting to see how that character is played in the film. And Penn, who's the total opposite politically of this character, playing that. The category favors villains sometimes too. So I would definitely consider him, if you don't want to go with Stellan Skarsgård, or you don't buy Adam Sandler like they didn't buy the whole Uncut Gems phase of it, you have to think about that as well.
Yeah.
Then they
and
can
some people will. Some people will just be unconvinced. And
the Netflix of it, he's
sure,
Happy Madison guy, like they're like they'll think about that. So it's like, would we just go with a favorite like Sean Penn in this movie that we love if they love it?
Absolutely. He could just be like what happened to Jim Carrey when he really aimed for very serious stuff, and Globe said yes, but the Academy said no every single time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think Jeremy Strong though is also really strong, dare I say. I think he is one of those people who I think is proving that awards bodies really like him, getting in for The Apprentice, but also his work in Succession, which, that I think, while it's ended now, a lot of people go to that performance and really, really like him. And he's going to have, I think, a major supporting role in this movie. And if they love the film and Jeremy Allen White, I think he will certainly come along for the ride. And I want to bring up Paul Mescal for Hamnet. What do we think? Because I'm starting to, as I'm, getting ready for Telluride and thinking about Jessie Buckley being really strong, possibly in the movie, and maybe even winning Best Actress, I think even though his role might not be that big or what people are expecting, I think he can definitely sneak in. This could be like a BAFTA Oscar situation.
Yeah, I think he's definitely getting a BAFTA nomination for sure. But yeah, I think we've talked a little bit about this. The way the book is written, there is so much prose, and his Shakespeare character is not very, very present, never named. So it will be very interesting to see how Maggie O'Farrell and Chloe Zhao manage that, if they've expanded him very much. But ultimately, when we get to that final scene, that's all you're going to need to put him in. That's gonna be it right there. So I feel very good about it. Feel very good about it.
I think Paul just is going to be at every one of these supporting the girls, because I think he's going to be supporting Chloe, and I think he's going to be supporting Jesse, and I think he's going to look great in those outfits, and we're going to see Gracie there, and it's going to be, but he ain't going to get nominated. Maybe SAG Ensemble, but I'm not seeing a supporting actor nomination.
I hope he has his Beatles haircut at all of these events.
Oh my God.
I have somebody to consider for this category, and that's and that's Tim Blake Nelson for Anna Lee. If that movie, from what I've heard, I heard he has a very significant role in that film, and again, it's he's a character actor. It could whoever picks that film up, if they run the campaign the right way, very much could be a player in this. I mean, if Rose Byrne is everywhere for this film, then the dramatic turn of somebody like Conan O'Brien in that film, Oscar host last year, Oscar host again this year. We've seen that happen before. I don't know if that's really that serious, or just mentioning that because that film is going to play everywhere. But I have I have been toying with a couple of other people as well. Like, I think Stephen Graham for Springsteen, even though like he's not in the trailer a lot, I do think there's going to be a lot of flashbacks, and I do think there will be like some cathartic scenes. And if he carries over his success from Adolescence over to this, that's someone that you can't ignore. I think easily Netflix is positioning Jacob Elordi right now too for Frankenstein, and putting him as like the focal point, because he was cast in that film. And since then they've had the variety piece. And then
it was even a recasting choice.
There you go.
Yes, it was.
Exactly. For someone that was Andrew Garfield in After the Hunt, which I've moved down a little bit, but I still think could happen if that movie does have the goods. And then of course there's Miles Canton and Delroy Lindo for Sinners that sit right there in the 6 to 10. And we didn't mention this in the last episode, but I Lied to You is going to be a big song, I think, and get nominated for original song, the song that's the centerpiece song of the film. And if that is the centerpiece of that movie and people gravitate to it, I think Miles Canton has a great chance of a surprise nomination alongside with...
I don't know if it would be a surprise, but yeah.
I think it would be over...
The pairing of that is really good.
I think over Delroy Lindo, maybe for, the veteran actor getting in a little bit of overdue narrative, or even... But also Jack O'Connell sits right there as well too, and I know how history frickin' repeats itself all the time.
I was gonna say that'd be very like the
very do the right thing. You know what I mean?
Well, and to that point, in all of the categories that we're talking about, there is a really big gap between the white contenders and non-white contenders. Yeah, it's pretty dramatic.
It is. But I see Ken because he's such the emotional core of that film, and we start with him.
He's almost a co-lead.
He's pretty much I was going to say, like, if Michael B. Jordan's not playing dual roles, then it's Miles Kenton's movie technically.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if Michael B. Jordan's getting in at places, I would see him getting in as well. Like I said, I don't see the female performances for that film getting in, but these two performances, B. Jordan and Ken, are definitely ones to consider as in the mix for sure.
Yeah. I have Miles Caton right outside of my top 5, and I might bump him in.
Yeah. It's a tough category.
And then we were talking about Idris Elba for House of Dynamite, where he's going to fit into this. Sean Bean, for Anemone. There was the early buzz around Dylan O'Brien from the festivals and stuff. We'll see how that plays out throughout the season, if like that's a more of a Gotham indie spirit play.
It'll definitely get Gotham and Indie Spirit nominations.
For sure.
Also, if Rental Family is a thing, Takahiro Hira, I could see that happening if Rental Family is big.
Yeah.
And then I also just want to say that I saw Blue Moon this week, and sadly, I don't think Andrew Scott is happening
in either films.
Yeah, because
we all saw it this week, and I was like, this is a good performance, but what was going on in Berlin for this win?
I just don't think it's big enough for a supporting actor campaign or narrative.
It has he's great in the film. He's very good, but it's not transcendent work. It's there to support
movie.
Yeah, it's there to support Ethan Hawke. Like that's what every character is doing in that film. And that's totally fine because he's fantastic in it. I mean, just like what we said with supporting actress, I don't think any of the Wake Up Dead Man cast is going to be.
No, I bumped up Josh O'Connor to number 10 just
because you love Josh.
Because he has 4 movies, and
that's true.
I don't know. Maybe he's the Jessica Chastain.
He should be nominated for the Mastermind, but that won't happen.
Yeah.
What about Jonathan Bailey for Wicked for Good?
Didn't happen the first time. Ain't gonna happen this time.
Well, he's a bigger role in the second part.
It's a bigger role.
It's also goofier too.
Yeah.
Like it's a very goofy.
Actors are goofy.
I know, but
do you think there'll be a little bit of appeal to that because what we've seen before isn't truly the Scarecrow yet, but as we get closer to that, there will be a little bit of a maybe nostalgic pull.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I think if they loved him that much and he had such viral moments online with the first one, I think if he would have got in there along with the girls last year, he would have, but he didn't. The only thing I think he sniffed was SAG Ensemble.
No, he got a single
individual SAG.
He got individual SAG.
Oh, that's right. He did get individual SAG. Well, he'll probably get that again. And and then that'll be it.
Crazy over that nomination.
Yeah, over Guy Pearce. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that movie is going to have some drop off in categories because of other strong films. It's a much stronger year, and I mean, its tech noms are going to get eaten alive by Avatar and Frankenstein. So. In F1 and stuff like that.
We'll see.
Maybe it'll be
no. You're
a little bit
definitely right. Yeah, it's very competitive. Sinners too.
Nice for some of those categories to be competitive.
Yeah, it's a big year.
Yeah. Well, I think with that we can close up shop for today and until our next time, where we'll actually be in Telluride at this point next week. So
crazy.
We'll have Venice Film Scene and Telluride Film Scene, and then we will follow up with a Telluride podcast to recap all of that, because as we always say, when it's early in the season, things are great on paper, but once they're seen, that changes everything, and new contenders are created as a result. Like you mentioned with The Brutalist last year, Ryan, it was not really an on the radar film until it was, and then
it was on the radar by Sophia Ciminello, but nobody else. No. We actually technically on this show talked about The Brutalist.
We did.
So we here at AwardsWatch got to be on that train ahead of time. Because
I was on the Adrian Brody train pre-Telluride. I remember being like a lunatic telling people he was going to win at Telluride.
Well, there's that. Yes, there's that.
She loves Adrian Brody. She's got one of his artworks right behind her.
Yeah, it's right behind me. No, please don't believe that.
I'm sorry. Yes, but with that, we will be back next week, or actually maybe the week after, with the Telluride pod. We'll see. Whenever it'll happen. But in the meantime, Ryan, can you tell everybody where they can find your work?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky, tweeting about a lot of films and a lot of other sports nonsense in between. At Ryan McQuade 77, you can find all my work, all my written reviews here at awardswatch.com. for Toronto and Telluride and everything in between. If you like podcasts, we have the Director Watch podcast. This week's episode was Benedetta, and we wrapped that up. And Sophia was on. It was a great episode. And we're done with Verhoeven, sadly. And now we are moving on to Ozu in late spring. Next week is the start of our Ozu series. I'm very excited about that. We've been recording those episodes in advance. And so it's going to feel like I've been doing work while at the festival for these shows, but through the magic of time, we were able to do all those in advance, and they've been great episodes so far. So go check those out.
Yes. And Sophia, where can everybody find your work?
You can find me on Twitter at Sophia_Sim, Letterboxd, and Blue Sky at Sophia Sim. You can find my podcast, Oscar Wilde, wherever you listen to podcasts. We did a little fall festival preview this week, and you can find upcoming festival coverage for Telluride, TIFF, New York Film Festival, and more reviews at AwardsWatch.
Fantastic. And you can find me on Twitter at awards_watch, AwardsWatch everywhere else, and then obviously awardswatch.com. And thank you everybody for listening. And until next time, goodbye.